What if you will feel safe to be a woman, safe to rest, safe to enjoy? You will become massively magnetic. But how can you do that? We have an inner guidance system in our body. And how we awaken that has been the the and how we awaken that is the core of the teachings of my guest today. Nadanesky is the founder of the Raindrop Movement. She has figured out that we move like water. We women heal like water. The wisdom of women is very much like water. How we flow is how we attract. We are getting deep in this conversation about everything that will allow you to let go, release what's stopping you, and be like water, be in your wisdom. Let's get started. Nada is key for you. Nada, delighted to have you here. I would like to start from the beginning. Your origin story. How did you, where did journey started that led you to the work that you're doing right now? Maybe we could start. What is most important for you? Childhood? Where you were born? Where did you start?
So many different questions. And all, of course, beautifully connected. First of all, thank you, Blanca, for creating the space to have these conversations. I believe they are important. I believe they are nourishing. I believe they are healing in it themselves. And I'm super grateful to be here and to have this conversation with you. My origin story. Well, the origin that is known and familiar in this life is that of a little girl being born in ex-Yugoslavia by a father that's Serbian and a mother that's Croatian, multi-religious, multinational family. And really having this strong sense of being in between, right? Being born in between. And that sense has become stronger and stronger in the time of the Civil War, in the time of Croatian-Serbian War in the 90s, where everything that I encountered was telling me you don't belong. You're not Serbian enough, you're not Croatian enough, and we don't want you here. And as you can imagine, I mean, and as we have unfortunately the chance to witness in this day of time, that level of separation, of exclusion is devastating. It's really heart-wrenching. And so the only way that I found to cope with it was by locking myself in my room and dancing my heart out, letting all the pain, all the suffering, all the isolation, all the feeling of being not good enough, not belonging, unsafe in that environment, letting it all come out.
I find it fascinating what you say. You locked yourself and danced. I locked myself in and painted and connected with art. Uh, I find it very telling how we connect to our wisdom intuitively.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because when did you start that? How old were you?
From what I remember, I was probably seven or eight.
Your little 7 years old you
Yeah.
knew that dancing was the key. Oh, that's so exciting. Uh,
And so 20 something years after Raindrop Movement was born, which is my life's mission.
um, um, Wait, don't jump that fast. Don't jump that fast. Don't jump that fast. So you were 7 years old, and there's a moment when, at some point, you deal with the war, and at some point you leave, and that's fascinating. And I really would love that if you would be so kind to share that with us.
Yes, so the realization that I was not met in a way that I longed to be met by honestly my entire family, but also by my surrounding, was an important call to find people and places in which I would be met. And I decided to follow that longing and to create a space of belonging for myself, because the way that I understood belonging is, okay, what is my soul longing for that is not being met in this life? And how can I be with that longing? How can I offer it to myself? And so it was very natural to me to leave the places that were a continuous reminder of that separation and to do my best and try to find those places inwards and outwards that would give me that. And so the journey started with me actually choosing to leave for university, choosing to leave to Italy, and then from there, kind of just offering myself more and more of those opportunities to come back to myself, to come back to that true inner sense of belonging from which I created then a reality that was a reflection of that.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. And that led you all the way here to the Netherlands, because that's how we met, ladies and gentlemen. This is where you are. That led you here. Is it here where the raindrop movement started?
No, actually, Raindrop Movement started in Saint Lucia, in a little feminine island in a body of water, which to me makes perfect sense because Raindrop Movement is really my own interpretation of a woman's journey from ice, from armoring back into flow, back to water. And so, of course, I needed to be in a body of water internally and externally for the fullness of this modality to come through. And for that, St. Lucia, this little country in the Caribbean, will forever be dear to my heart. So yes, it was born 5 years ago in St. Lucia, and it is really turning into this beautiful, inclusive, global community, a
Mm.
global movement of women who are choosing to come back to their bodies and come back to their feminine essence.
I love this bit in which you say that we are in ice.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, of course. So, what I saw through my own journey is that every wounding of my upbringing and also of me just trying so hard to be a functioning modern woman and operating in very masculine ways would create more rigidity in my system, would create more ice, quite literally. Somatically, we called it the somatic armoring, but for me, it was really like feeling my whole internal system, my emotional body, my mental body, and my physical body were turning into a body of ice. I was frozen most of the time. unable to respond in a way that my soul was aching to respond. And I wanted to create a space and offer a modality to this world specifically designed for feminine nervous system, specifically designed for feminine anatomy that will allow that icing to melt softly, gently, one little drop at a time. Because I was so harmed by all these different healing methods that were continuously telling me that I need to push through, that I need to suffer through my healing journey. And that was not my way. And so Raindrop Movement is really offering a different way to look at our healing that can be soft, that can be gentle, that can be at the pace of our inner body's wisdom.
Mm.
And I really hope that every woman who joins any of my offerings feels that.
Mm. Yeah, I love that. I love that. The metaphor that I have been using was the running away from the fire that of the trauma is. And I love to imagine we becoming eyes. It really opens to a different perspective. I like that very much.
Mm. How does
Oh,
it open for you?
say it again.
What does it open for you, this metaphor of becoming ice?
Um, I'm thinking astrologically that Neptune is coming into Aries. Neptune is the lord of water, of spirituality, of illusion, and Aries is the do it, the let's get it done, let's don't wait, and entrepreneur and fast. Massive action. That coach, Tony Robbins, action. Woo! And both things collide. And this is the energy that is going to be with us for a long time. And if we do the two of them together, we have boiling water.
Mm.
And that's quite dangerous if we really go to that modality. And recently, last week, I facilitated a workshop for some women, and we were working on this, how to integrate them. And my inspiration was flowing. So the Neptunian spiritual sense making of, if you wish, the illusion, because that's also Neptune illusion, creating new illusions, it is flowing. And at the same time, we can take action. But
Yeah.
we take action sometimes when it's aligned and when the intuition is telling us. So this is how it came to me. Um, I'm going to put an image of my painting. And that is how it comes to me, you know. I imagine volcanoes in the Pacific.
I love that. Wow, you're bringing such a meta view on it. It's a brilliant perspective, and I love that you're weaving your own gifts of astrology into it. And what it shows me is that this is a powerful time for us to really step into our wholeness, for us to reconnect the feminine being with the masculine doing, and to know that when we are acting from that space of deep alignment to our being, to our most sacred self, we are unstoppable. We
Yeah,
are that.
yeah, 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 yeah,
You know,
yeah.
in the Pacific, it's really beautiful. And I think that's exactly where we are collectively.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, uh, Nada is also here because she's a very successful business owner. And she works with feminine awakening, with spirituality, with embodiment. And she told me something that really touched my heart because many of the listeners are coaches and business owners, and they are struggling.
Mhm.
And she told me, Nada, in the coffee that we were drinking some time ago, that one business coach told her that she wanted to do this, she will not make it and she will not make money. And of course, this is not true right now. But I would love you, Nada, to explain what was the spiritual and the practical that made your business happen.
I love how we are still in this paradigm where spiritual is not necessarily the same as practical. And I think what made my business successful and continues to make it successful is the merging. Spiritual is practical. Spiritual is really in these little daily rituals of honoring yourself, coming back to the essence of what am I here to do, and becoming the embodiment of that.
Oh,
We
beautiful.
are souls embodied. We are not just these spiritual beings having a human experience. We are here to become expressed as souls within this beautiful, for whatever reason, chosen feminine body. And to me, the merging of both and finding ways in which I can truly act and be a soul embodied, that has been crucial in making my business what it is. And it continues to be sort of a guiding principle is spirituality is not just a moment of daily prayer. Spirituality is how I move through this world, is how I look at the people around me, is seeing the highest possible outcome in every situation. It is really, yeah, it is the most practical of all things, I would say.
Oh, I love your answer. I love your answer. And this is what I was longing to talk about,
Yeah.
the separation. I mean, this is so important to talk about the feminine and the feminine energy because we have been too much leaning into the masculine, but that doesn't mean that they are separate.
Yes.
That doesn't mean that we should stop using Excel or making plans or the practicality is spiritual, the feminine and the masculine, because that's ultimately what creates reality. The the merging of our parents internally.
Yes.
This mm,
Absolutely. And I love also that you mentioned the nitty-gritty of the business. Of course, the business needs supportive structures. Of course, the business needs to have a business plan and KPIs and strategic vision for the next whatever amount of future that you can foresee that feels aligned and authentic to you so that you can soften into that, so that you can relax into that, so that you can know the road is clear. All I have to do is honor my energy, stay connected to my intuitive self, and keep making one step at a time.
yeah.
And it's really that merging of both, like you said, the masculine and feminine, that allows the business, which is again an energetic entity in itself, to thrive.
Mhm. Yeah, it's so beautiful. I feel so much alignment because the work that I do is called the ripple. And the work that you do is called the drop.
Mm.
And it is about this tiny little, I call them devotional practices because it's not about habits, it's about the coming from. And I think how do you call them? Do you call them embodiment practices?
Yes.
Um, because Nada works with the embodiment practices. She works with the body. That's what we were talking about. She, at 7 years old, she was dancing. I would love that you could give us a nugget of something that women could easily do, even if they do not know anything, even if they are really frozen,
Mm.
that they could grab easily.
Mm. Well, I would say start your day by looking inwards before you get up, especially if you are a woman who is also a mother, who is also a business owner, who is also a wife, who carries multiple hats and steps into the day with an already overweighted to-do list. Please give yourself a minute or two of taking a breath, putting a hand on your heart, putting a hand on your womb, and just feeling into this beautiful body that allows you to walk another day on this earth. Connect with the energy that you carry in this moment. And even if there's nothing, right? Because when we spend so much time in the freeze response, which is the most common response for all women in today's society, we might sense that there is disconnect. We might attempt to feel into our heart and feel nothing, feel numbness. Be with that numbness. Say, I welcome you. I welcome this nothingness in this moment. And that act of meeting whatever is true for you is an act of melting the ice already.
Yeah, you did. You did. Oh, I love that practice. I really love that practice. This connects to me with so much work and so much wisdom. There's so much wisdom in that nugget, ancestral wisdom. Beautiful. I love it. We're going to start saying goodbye. This is my traditional question to everybody in my podcast. And this is Nada, would you be so kind to connect with your wisdom, to your intuition, and feel what the audience needs to hear to close this conversation?
The message that is coming through is you are enough. And I feel like whoever is joining this podcast is already doing so much. And just letting them know that every little thought of kindness, every little act of self-love, such as maybe listening to this conversation and connecting to the two of us, creates a ripple, creates a little drop in that collective ancestor healing, and it is enough. You are enough.
Beautiful. Now, it's been such a pleasure talking to you. Ladies, I am going to put all Nada's contacts in the description. She works, as she said, internationally. So it doesn't matter where you're in the world, you can connect with her. If you're in Amsterdam, you're in luck, or if you're in Europe, you're in luck, because she also does live events. So just follow this lady because you have seen her. She is a powerhouse. Now, thank you very much for being here. God bless.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.